Welcome back, and thank you for joining us for the final video of our online orientation. In this segment, we'll walk you through our curriculum guidelines and give you a clear understanding of what drives our educational approach here at TLC. YoungStart is Wisconsin's child care quality rating and improvement system. The program gives parents and caregivers the tools and information they need to give their kids a great start and find quality child care that fits their needs. YoungStar also supports Wisconsin's child care providers by offering resources, training, and technical assistance designed to enhance their quality of care. At TLC, we hold ourselves to the highest standards of excellence. We are proud to be recognized as a 4-star program, and we are continuously striving for that 5th star. The final step on our journey is enhancing STEP education, a goal we are actively working toward. YoungStar plays a key role in supporting our commitment to quality. Through their guidance, we ensure our classrooms are equipped with developmentally appropriate toys, books, and visual materials. They also assist us in designing thoughtful, individualized lesson plans that cater to the unique needs of each child in our care.
Lead teachers will maintain and post well-formulated lesson plans each week, showing activities for each learning domain from Wisconsin Model Early Learning Standards. TLC believes it is important to teach based on themes, so the toys, books, and activities are being rotated often. Children learn best through play, so providing them with different resources in the classroom is very important. You will have plenty of time to complete these tasks since you'll be receiving at least 2 hours a week of planning time as a lead teacher. Activities should be planned that help children reach their individualized goals. Lesson plans are to be hung outside the classroom and visible to anyone who wishes to view them. A copy of the lesson plan that are not visible to parents should contain individualized goals for each child. There's also an option to enter lesson plans into Lilio where you can list each standards from Wisconsin Model Early Learning Standards the child will be focusing on for the activity. Parents will be able to view this from their end of the app as well. TLC uses Wisconsin Model Early Learning Standards, otherwise known as WEMLs, as a curriculum alignment tool that allows us to understand what students should know and be able to do. WEMLs breaks things down into 5 categories stated on the right of your screen. As you follow these categories and grow with your children, you will begin to go through the WEML's teaching cycle. This cycle will continue around from assessments to planning to implementing. All of these steps will be part of your weekly lesson planning. For more information on WEMLs, click the link on the slide and visit their online PDF. TLC believes that children learn best through play. Therefore, it is extremely important that the room arrangement sets children up for success as it directly affects their learning, behavior management, and focus. Centers dedicated to specific activities should be present and clearly labeled in each classroom. Center areas should include library, science, math and fine motor, dramatic play, blocks, art, and quiet area. We use an online Ages and Stages questionnaire, otherwise known as ASQ, for our screening purposes. This is something we have parents fill out as part of the enrollment. It will then automatically be sent again for parents to fill out every 6 months. By participating in an online ASQ, parents are able to receive more information about the development of their children immediately. If a child is lagging in a specific area, parents will be given resources to help. TLC uses individual child portfolios to document each child's progress over time. These portfolios are the ongoing assessments part of the teaching cycle. Portfolios contain records of the child's process of learning, including what the child has learned and how the child has gone about learning, how the child thinks, questions, analyzes, synthesizes, produces, and creates, how the child interacts with others, goals for the child's outcomes, and artifacts or samples of the child's work. You will also determine goals for each child based on age-appropriate developmental checklists based on WEMLs. Individualized goals are the planning and curriculum part of the teaching cycle, making sure all goals are reachable and obtainable and that your lesson plan contains activities that help the children reach their goal. Completing the activities on the lesson plans with individualized goals is the implementation part of the teaching cycle. TLC has moved to online portfolios, making it easier to share with parents. This information should be shared in parent conferences. If a child's development is outside the typical norm, this is information that should be shared to parents immediately. The Learning Center Daycare has a crazy amount of resources. Our basement is overflowing with toys, books, puzzles, curriculum tools, supplies, and so much more. Please ask if you need any sort of resources for your classroom. All items are to be shared between the classrooms, and make sure to return resources back to their proper location after you use them. If you are in need of books, we have so many to choose from in the basement. There are sections of board books, young kid books, and a section for older kid books. You can find giant books in the art room and CD or tape books in the laundry room. If you are in need of a specific book that we do not have, you may use the Learning Center's library card and head over to the Winnicott Public Library that is just a block away. Another tool you can find in the basement is the laminator. Laminating pages that are used often can prolong the life of the activity. The laminator should only be used by people that are specifically trained on how to use it. If you need something laminated, let Tammy or Ashley know and/or put it in the front office. Laminating tends to get done in larger batches, so plan your laminating ahead of time to assure it's ready. A huge resource for the classrooms is our theme bins. These are typically found on the shelving in the laundry room and/or in the racquetball room in the lower part of the basement. We have many bins of different themes ranging from holidays, seasons, books, topics, celebrations, animals, and so much more. When you begin planning, we highly recommend you check these out to see what you can utilize in the future. Each bin will contain things like books, posters, decorations, games, toys, projects, etc. When you're finished with the bins, make sure that everything is returned and do not add items into the bins that do not relate to the subject. All bins should return to the basement where they were found. There are certain behaviors that are unacceptable and will need to be addressed by a teacher immediately. These behaviors will be handled by the teacher on an individual basis depending on the severity and frequency. These are behaviors like disrespect for authority, classroom disruption, harassment of peers or bullying, physical aggression, stealing, lying, and mistreatment of school property. There are some general behavior guidelines we like to follow by using positive reinforcement. In order to prevent behavior problems, make sure you are aware of what is happening in your classroom at all times. It is important to be positive with the children and help them find positive substitutes for their inappropriate behaviors. Use positive statements, give them reasons, and answer their questions. A good example of our positive reinforcement guidelines is during meal times. So let's take a look. While at the lunch table with your class, remember that this is a fun, typical time for them to socialize with their friends. We should always encourage our students to try different foods that we have to offer, but we will never force them to eat. Withholding food cannot be used as a punishment, and using food as a reward is also prohibited. Staff will be there the entire mealtime to socialize with the kids. The children can be given seconds of food even if they have not finished their entire plate, and they are more than welcome to be done eating their meal without finishing all of their food. We are promoting positive food experiences with them and will not be negatively impacting their day by forcing them to eat things they do not want. Here are some no's of discipline for TLC. In addition to the food related examples we just covered, physical punishment is not permitted at any time. Emotional or verbal abuse is also not permitted, and punishment for things like lapses in toilet training is strictly prohibited. At the Learning Center, we use preventative and conscious discipline, which helps improve children's self esteem, problem solving skills, and encourages pre social behaviors. This type of discipline involves things like providing interesting choice of activities to keep the children's attention, being consistent with positive communications and minimal attention given to misbehaviors, allowing children to problem solve amongst themselves, and arranging the environment that promotes positive behavior and self control. Create simple rules that are consistent, enforced, and clearly communicated to the children. When you encounter an unwanted behavior, redirect the child away from the problems and back into the positive interactions. By doing this, we are providing children with the opportunity and motivation to make choices that will help them function independently, develop social skills, respect the needs and rights of others, adapt to routines and simple rules, and become responsible group member. We understand that we are not always going to be able to calm children down and get a positive interaction from them within the classroom. In extreme situations, calmly remove the child from the classroom, state the rule that they violated, and give them some time to calm down. Have them in a space where they are alone, but still attended to by the teacher. Do not place them in the corner or the hallway or any other humiliating situation. If you may bring the child up to the director's office until they calm down if needed. In addition to educational standards being met depending on the position you are working at TLC, all part-time and full-time staff members must complete an infant and child CPR with AED course within 3 months and will be required to maintain that certificate while they work at the Learning Center. You will also need to take a SIDS training course. If you are coming into the center as a lead teacher in an infant or toddler room, you will need to complete 15 or more hours specifically training in those rooms. Lastly, you will complete training that covers child abuse and neglect, how to identify it, and procedures to report it. This topic will be refreshed at least every 2 years. Pause this recording, click the link at the bottom of the screen, and complete the Wisconsin Mandated Reporter online training. Once you have finished the training, download your certificate of completion and print or email it to Tammy Brooks. TLC will pay for pre-approved training costs. Employees are not paid for their time while attending outside trainings. CPR and first aid training will be paid for by TLC when a staff participates in the training offered on site. If you are unable to attend, you must pay for your mandatory training. TLC will reimburse employees 100% of the cost of pre-approved continuing education or in-service for those staff receiving an A upon course completion. 85% will be reimbursed for a B grade. Any grade below a B will not entitle the employee to any tuition reimbursement. Employees must work for TLC an additional year after course completion, or they will be required to reimburse TLC its portion of the tuition cost. We also work with different continuing education programs to make your education more affordable with scholarships and grants. You will learn more information about this in your handbook.
Way to go! You've completed the last part of our online orientation videos. Please review the other links attached to this section in Google Classroom and take the quiz.